All right, cool. So I think we should be around finish now. With arranging these in the correct order. So let me start by pulling on, is that Regine, or Regine? Remind me how that is pronounced, please.
Regine, sir.
Regine. All right, so tell me in ascending order. What first we have?
From small is the largest, sir, no?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, bit,
Mm-hmm.
byte,
Mm-hmm.
kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte.
Very good. Well done. All right, good. We all agree with that, Judy? We agree with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, nice, cool. All right, so I'm gonna move over to the next activity. I've placed on here some bits in red for you to, in your table, to select as the correct answer. So fill in the correct one for each of those. All right, 1 more minute. All right, great. So Deandra, let's hear you. Starting from a top down. Deandra. All right, Colton, let's hear you. All right, next week I'm going to see if I can have a conversation with you guys' parents, because I don't know who is actually in the class. When you guys turn the cameras off, I've said to you guys, you need to keep the cameras on when you come to class, unless there are some, very significant situation. Because I'm not able to tell who is actually in class, and I would rather work with the persons who are actually here and listening, rather than calling persons who are not responding. All right. So I'm going to start referring to people who actually have the cameras on. That way, I don't have to waste the time and not get through the lesson. All right, guys, you need to have the cameras on so we can actually get through the lesson. We waste a lot of time waiting on persons. I don't know if you're frozen. We don't know if you're still there. Are you going to play some football? And we just have the camera. So we need to make sure that's clear. So I'm going to be referring to people who are actually having their cameras on. You need to have your cameras on for class. All right, cool. All right, let's work with that. Colton, let's hear you. Starting from top down, please.
Still doing it, sir.
Still doing. Yeah, let's hear from top down, please.
Okay, sir. 1,000 bytes, 1 kilobyte, 100,000, whatever. 1 megabyte, 1 kilobyte, 100 kilobytes. Yeah. 1 terabyte, byte, and then byte, nibble, and gigabyte.
Nice. All right. The last one, how much byte? feel I may have a wrong answer. Should have an extra 0. So 9 is gigabyte. So this would be a terabyte. We need an extra 0 on there. All right, good, but great answers there. Thank you very much. All right, Regina, yeah, you did. Thanks for reminding me about that. All right, cool. So yes, good. That's good. And you did answer a while ago still, so that's good. All right, guys, we have to remember we're not in the same room, you know. I want to make sure I'm giving persons the best support. All right, please just work with me. All right, so I have a bit of more questions. Quiz question for you to quickly respond to on your slide there. All right. First one is which unit is larger than megabyte but smaller than terabyte? And then the last one, a photo that's 3 megabyte takes up how many kilobytes? So tell us, how many kilobytes do you think are in 3 megabyte?
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
gigabyte. It is larger than a megabyte and it's smaller than a terabyte.
Yeah, good. So that second one, that first one is gigabyte. Good. And what about the next one?
3,000, sir.
3,000. Yeah, good. Because a thousand, remember kilobyte is 1,000, and 1,000 times 1,000 is a million, but there's 3 million, so that would be 3,000. Does everybody understand how we arrive at this answer? Any question? Anyone not clear? Love for me to explain a bit more. All right. So we do know that if we divide a million, for example, yeah, by 1,000, that's going to give us 1,000. So 1,000 times 1,000 gives us a million. All right. 3 megabyte means that it's 3 million bytes. So if we know that 1,000 kilobyte makes a million, we just need to multiply by 3, and we're going to end up with what is called 3,000 kilobytes. All right, so yes, agree with that. All right, what I want to do, I'm going to put a little bit of practical component into this. I want to give you a few minutes to just Google this. Select an app of your choice. All right, an app could be it could be WhatsApp, it could be any app that is on your phone. Just pick one of them. And what I want you to quickly do is to research how much storage that app basically use up. And if you have online games that you play, you could also decide that you're going to research this and tell us, all right? And fill that in on this first piece. And then I want you to look what the word compression actually means, and also cloud storage, and then tell me, how does this affect storage? All right. So 2 words I want you to look up: compression and cloud storage. And then I want you to tell me, how does these 2 things affect storage? And when you look for compression, make sure you're looking for it in the context of computing. I don't want to hear people talking about heavy duty truck and all these things. All right. Compression has to do with basically making something smaller. All right. So if you had files on your computer and you were to put them in a folder and then zip the folder, that's compression. That file will be much smaller than if you had just had the files by themselves separately. So think of compression as like squeezing things together, making them smaller. How do you think this is going to affect storage on your computer and also storage on your phone, for example. All right. All right. Another minute, is that good? Is that too fast? Minute is good. All right, I'll give you a minute and then we're going to hear from Deandra. What is her favorite app? And of course, how much storage does it actually use up? Nice. All right, cool. Let's hear. Deandra, what's your favorite app, if there's one? Is she there? I don't feel like she's gone or she's been kicked out. All right, Regine, let's hear you. What would you say is your favorite? Oh no. Is that Regine who's gone too? No. All right,
No, sir.
Regine.
No, sir.
All right, cool. What would you say is your favorite app and how much storage does it actually use up?
Sir, my favorite app is WhatsApp,
Mm-hmm.
and it uses what is it? It uses around 1.5 megabytes, sir.
Good. So if your phone only have 3 megabytes, how much space you actually have left on your device?
3 mega, sir, 3 megabytes, sir, 2.5.
Or 2.95, something like that.
Oh, okay, sir.
2.95. Good. So that's how storage actually relates. All right. So you don't have endless space in this time, obviously. But of course, so that means if you have a lot of devices on your a lot of apps on your computer and a lot of different files going to be using up lots of space. We live in a time where, especially for mobile devices, yeah, you can't increase the actual physical hard drive or RAM, but what you can do is to buy more cloud storage. And that's what iCloud is, or Google Drive, or Dropbox, or OneDrive. So because you're not able on your mobile, you can't decide I'm going to buy a new hard drive for your phone to make it so that you have more space to store. You have to then turn to cloud storage. All right, cool. All right, thanks for sharing that. Jade, what's your favorite app? Don't tell me it's WhatsApp.
Sir, my favorite app is TikTok.
TikTok. What? All right, that means you know Rose. I will not teach my
Sir,
class.
sir, we don't talk about those people,
Oh,
okay? We go on
please.
TikTok to watch funny videos.
Oh, oh. Because I saw a Jamaican teacher having a good class, you know, teaching, although our sentences were grammatically incorrect.
You mean Miss Todd?
Oh,
She's
you know her?
she's sir, she teaches at my school. Of course I know her.
So the school that was on TikTok was Westwood. So why Westwood saying about that? They're fine with that. That could never happen here. No, no, that's,
Yes,
sis,
sir. Because she
they're
showed
fine.
the school in a positive light.
Oh, I see. No, I didn't know. All right, nice, cool. See, small world. All right, great. How much space does TikTok takes up?
Sir, if I can answer for you, sir. Sometimes it varies, cause
Hmm.
1 second, all right. Reason I say it varies, sir. Some devices it saves some of the videos, so like it downloads them. So if you don't have an internet connection, it has the download. So 1 second is like the original app space 35 megabyte, and the next second it jump to gigabyte.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
understand.
Yeah, of course, me understand. Right. So you notice now it's not just the app you're accounting for, but the files that are also being created by that actual app. And of course, the more files you put on there, the more space you're actually going to store locally if it's not being stored in some form of cloud storage. Very important. We kind of talk about cloud storage because that's also on your curriculum, which is why I'm going to my very next question to ask Colton. Colton, what did you find out about compression and how does it affect storage?
Sir, it is the process of reducing the size of a file or data set by removing redundant information. It
Nice.
and how it affects storage, it reduces storage use and it speeds up data transfer.
Yeah, two good points. So if you're sending an email, there are times when you're attaching a file and you'll probably see it says that the file is too big to be transmitted. If you're to compress that file maybe into a folder, you'll be able to transmit. So that's what it means by speeding up transmission. Also, we have different types, file types, which comes through different forms of compression. So, for example, a PNG file might be bigger than a JPEG file. All right. And definitely a JPEG file is smaller than a PDF file. So if you're trying to save, if you save something as a PDF, that's going to take up much more storage space than something that is stored as a PNG file. All right. So so that definitely affects your storage. So that tells us then we have to be concerned about what file type we're storing because the file type will determine the type of compression that is actually used. This is above your curriculum, but there are different types of compression, so to speak. We have what is called lossy compression and lossless compression. Now, with lossy, it means that you actually lose significant portions. So it cannot be used for every single file. Maybe you can compress a Word file and the changes are not very obvious. But think about a movie. If you were to compress a movie, what's going to happen to the quality, the resolution, the
Going to be
sound?
lowered.
Exactly, it's going to be more significant. And even for pictures, maybe Jade take a nice picture them that you want to put up on her wall, maybe her graduation photos. If she compresses those files, it's going to lose quality and look like some picture we take from 1980. So you have to be concerned about this. So while compression is very good, you need to understand that compression may also have a negative impact on the actual file. It changes the quality, changes the looks. So while it saves space and while it speeds up the process of transmission, you also need to know that the quality might also be affected. And so you're gonna have to pick and choose what kind of files you actually want to actually compress. Like I said, a video, you might not want to compress. A game quality, you might not want to compress because people want the best quality in those. maybe a Word file, you don't mind compressing it as a PDF file, you know, because a PDF is somewhat smaller than a Word file itself, right? And that might be better. And the quality is not noticeable. So it's not that there are no changes, it's just that there's not much to be noticed there. All right, good, thanks. Yeah, Deandra, what did you find out about cloud storage? I don't think Deandra hearing me now. No, she not. She definitely not hearing me. See it? She not hearing me. All right. Who else is here? Who is Keniva? I don't know who that is. Is that Kenisha? Let me know who that is. I'm not sure who that is. Okay. All right. What else did you find out, Regine, about cloud storage itself? And let's see how that affects storage.
So pretty much cloud storage is data that is stored by a user that can be accessed anywhere remotely, sir.
Yeah, but where is the data actually stored? Is it stored in the middle of the cloud, in the sky, in the middle of nowhere? Where is it actually stored? Yes.
So like Google Drive.
But Google Drive is just the interface that we use in order to access this remotely. But where's the file actually stored? The file is not stored just in that app that you have. You access it as a user through that. That is what we call an interface. All right, cool. Yeah. See Anand there. Yeah, go ahead, Colton.
It's stored on remote servers, sir.
Remote server. What is a remote server? It's a remote server. Don't mind me now. I'm drawing Jade's phone. That's Jade's phone right there. And somewhere inside of Jade's house, you get something from a Lime or a Digicel look like this. You know what it is called, Jade?
So are you referring to the modem?
Oh yeah, man, that's the same something that me at that. Wanna call it modem. But what if me feel like call it router? It's just that these ones in Jamaica has a combination of router and modem. But the real point of this, do you know what this device is for? You know what it is for?
Sir.
Yeah. What one?
To provide wireless connection.
Just provide wireless connection.
To the
what?
internet.
What actually is the internet do? Google, YouTube. What is the internet?
It is a network of, well, yeah, it's a network.
A global network of networks or global network of computers and other devices that are connected together. So
hence the World Wide Web, sir.
Nice. So your phone, once you enter some of the password and join the internet, you are now a part of the internet. Remember my first class, and I did ask who actually owns the internet, and we said everybody or nobody. So what we are browsing now and what we are using on Zoom, this is only a service that is provided by the internet. When we also research on whether YouTube or Google using the World Wide Web, it is simply a service provided by the internet. So I know that most people confuse the two. And most times when we tell persons we're going to use the internet, people think it means going to Google search engine and searching up. We are actually using a service of the internet. The World Wide Web is all of the websites that are connected globally together, right? And we use this to basically search or research different information on there. But that's not the only service that is provided by the internet. We have email. People can email. People can also WhatsApp. These are also services. People can also do e-banking. People can do online schools. These are services that are provided by the internet. So why am I talking about this? Okay, so this is Jade's phone, and she's connected. to the router wirelessly, but Flo came into our house and run a cable that is then run outside her house on some light posts. And it goes and connect into some other infrastructure that also have a network. So her phone and her modem ultimately becomes a part of this large network called the internet. So the internet is the largest network. And that is why when we get to talking about computer network, we're not really there yet. I'm using it to kind of teach about servers. All right. So server is a remote computer. So that's like this. See? So every Google have its own server. All right. So let's say this is Google. Google, and let's call it Google Drive. All right, cool. All right. So when Jade pays for extra service, right, to store all her photos, she's almost renting a space on this server here to store our little photos on there and all our video clips. So those are being stored remotely. This is why it doesn't matter if she's accessing this from her personal phone or she's in class at Westwood, hiding and using the people's computer. She still has access to this. And if she goes to America to chill for a little and borrow her aunt's phone, right? Because it is really connected to the internet, it accesses the server that is connected centrally. Now, as long as these persons are willing to pay for the service of Google Drive, any of these computers can actually access the same server. All right. So it doesn't matter which one she's actually using, she can access from anywhere. But the files are actually stored on a central computer, powerful computer called a server. Now, Google Drive is just the interface that we use in order to access because you're not physically putting anything on the computer. Yes, you are through that service storing your files on a server. All right. So how does this actually affect storage now? Right? Files that Jade would normally be storing on her phone that is taking up space, she can move those files across to the server, granted that she pay the people them for her service. She can
So
move
she's
them
not
up.
that rich.
Please leave Jade alone. So she can move her files across and free up space on her phone, which then allows her to be able to store other files on there. All right, is that good? Everyone understands that? No question for me? Fabulous. All right, good. So the next thing we're going to do today, still have more tasks that I want to do, and this is just to cement some of the earlier learning that we did, because we know that my PowerPoint them long, so I want to make sure that I am catching up on some key bits of learning since I am not giving any assessment at the moment. So I want to make sure that we are covering grounds where this is concerned. All right, so there's another activity that I want us to complete, and this one now is going to be on, let me see. All right, nice. This one is going to be on, I should do this one first. All right, we're going to do this one on RAM and ROM because I think we haven't covered it in terms of, make it a little bit more real for us. So this activity is about. All right, so can you download that next presentation? It's also on the Google Classroom. And this one is about taking a look at the primary storage. of our computers. Let me know if it's all opened. Is it opened? Ready to go? Now remember again, guys, as I said, make sure that you're storing these resources somewhere that you will have access to them again in the future. All right. Of course, with your completed answers. All right, cool. Then you have it. Have it and ready to go.
I'm looking, sir.
It's in the chat.
Sir, it says I need to request access.
Colton look like you're sending stamp come from my place, man. Why my internet giving trouble? All right, cool. So back to what I was saying earlier. So now when we talk about storage devices, yeah, the computer, we can rightly divide the storage that we have into different categories. Where is this going, man? So me talk about. Let's get back there. All right, right here. All right. All right, so yeah, so the computer is divided into what I call three categories of storage. Now, we talk about storage, we're talking about being able to store data, whether it is for temporary or for long term. No, we have what is called primary storage. That's your RAM and your ROM, which we are going to primarily look at in this next activity that we're going to do. And then there is what we call secondary storage. And this is where we look at your USB, your optical disk, your hard drive, all of that. Some things we have kind of covered already, but we just want to look at them in more details in terms of their characteristics and their unique features. Now, tertiary is where we speak about using cloud storage to back up data, which is what we just spoke about earlier. So I'm going to go a bit into what primary storage is. Quickly, just want to remind you that when we talk about primary storage, we're basically speaking about RAM and ROM specifically. There are other ones, but at this level, that's the two we're going to be speaking about. Now, it comes onto RAM, yes, it is both read and write, which means that you're able to edit, you're able to store to it, all right? You can also view. That is why it is read and write. It is volatile, which means that once the computer is switched off, the data and the instruction held in RAM, they are lost. Hence why we call it random access, right? Also, another important thing is that the data is not stored in any specific order. That is why random access, you can randomly access this area in memory, the CPU that is, all right? Now, as I said, the RAM can be read from and can be written to. Those are two key philosophies that we need to remember as we are studying, all right? Now, the contents in RAM can be changed at any time by overwriting it with other data and instruction. So what we are simply saying is your Zoom that is open now and any other app that you have open on your computer, all of that is now being stored in RAM. So memory, the operating system has allocated some space for this to be able to be stored. So if you didn't have enough space on your RAM, like my computer, you would have different things like, different programs crashing. A while ago, my Zoom crashed because I don't have enough RAM to be holding all the programs that I have actually open. All right, that's why it closed down. So if we could just go over this again, it holds its primary storage holds data and instruction that the CPU needs to access while the computer is actually running. And of course, the CPU can access data far more quickly from primary memory than from secondary memory. And part of the reason is that primary memory is closer to you. So think about, that is why we don't put Colton bedroom near to the kitchen, because he's going to get to the kitchen faster than everybody else, So we have to make sure that he have to come from upstairs. All right, good. Now, let's kind of summarize what I've just spoken about. So we have what is called ROM, and this is a small piece of read-only memory that is located on the motherboard. It is non-volatile. It holds startup instruction for the computer, which we call bootstrap. All right. So the main reason for ROM is to hold bootstrap or startup instruction. RAM, on the other hand, is temporary storage of instructions and data. It holds data that is currently being used by the processor. It is volatile, and something that's very important, it is much faster to read from than the hard drive. All right, cool. Some of the differences that I could also point out is that when compared to ROM, RAM is much larger in terms of size, the amount of files it can store. So there is much more space allocated to RAM than is allocated to ROM. Equally, there is much more that is allocated to secondary storage than is actually allocated to RAM itself. All right, cool. So with that said, what I want you to do now is to go to the activity that I just placed. You will see a virtual tour of the computer. I've already summarized the main features of the CPU for you. So if you look on it, you'll see that the features for the CPU have been summarized for you already. All right, that's from previous lessons. So what I am going to do now is to spend some time and talk a little bit about the other, to allow you to fill in data about the other devices. So let's look at this. So I want you to kind of see where your CPU is. So if you look on the picture that is on my screen, which is on yours as well, you should see that this area is the CPU. This is where the CPU would actually be placed. That's in the case of a desktop. Now, if you look over on this side right here, where you see this little one, this is where your ROM is located. So this is ROM. Look at it. This is your ROM. All right. Now, this area, this is where this very lengthy, long area here, this is where your RAM will be placed. So this is the RAM chip itself. So CPU, RAM, and ROM. Now, this one is the BIOS, all right? And the BIOS just basically stores some form of program that is needed for the computer to set up. So this is where the different, check to make sure different parts of the computer are functional once you turn the computer on. So that's where this is going to be, all right? And so at this point, I don't need to point out any other because these are the core points that you actually need to know at this level. You need to know the CPU, you need to know the RAM, you need to know the ROM, and of course, you need to know the BIOS. Right. So on your file, I've already completed this for you. So CPU actually stands for Central Processing Unit. The purpose of it is to fetch and execute instructions. The main components of the CPU right here, first one is arithmetic logic unit. So this part deals with performing calculations and logic. So when you decide to add 5 plus 10 on the computer, this is what handles it. When you decide to give the computer some form of equation that if this is greater than this, then do this. The arithmetic logic unit is what handles that. We have what is called a control unit, which is a part of the CPU. Now, this is what decodes the instructions, sends signals to control how data moves around the CPU. So this is like the one that gives the directives, go fetch, then now go and execute or decode, all right, that number of instructions. Again, this is above your curriculum at the moment, but I would love to point them out because maybe in a paper 2 question it could be something that help to defend the point that you need to make. So cache is really a fast access memory for frequently used instruction and data. What that just means is that um, so the CPU has to fetch instruction from out of memory. So for anything to be processed, it needs to first be stored into memory. Now, maybe it fetch some form of instructions, it executes something, but it is not finished yet. Maybe it needs to do a second operation based on the result. No, it needs to be able to store that data until it actually needs it again. If not, it will have to go and fetch it all over from inside of RAM and then perform all over again, which slows down the process. So this is what cache does. It temporarily stores some of the result that the computer might need to refer to again in the future. All right. Let's just move now over to this one. So on yours, can I ask you now to fill this in? So RAM stands for random access memory. You can go ahead and fill that in on the PowerPoint that is please provided. And the purpose of it, so they summarize this down nice for your exam so you know what it is. And try and draw one line, put a shape or something to it so you know where it is at. So this is it right here. So that's the RAM. And this is temporary storage of instructions and data in use by the CPU for currently executing programs. Programs and data are loaded from the hard disk or solid state drive into RAM for processing. So you want to kind of note that. That's the purpose. So CXC requires you to know the name, you need to know the purpose, and you need to know these 2 important features about it. It's volatile, which means that contents are lost when the computer is powered off, and then read and write, which means memory can be read from and can be written to. I'm going to just pause there and allow you to fill that in on yours. And as I said, draw some form of shape to use some form of arrow or something that points to it so that when you are doing your studies, you can relate to it. You know exactly where it would be on the motherboard. Is that all right? Is that enough time? Plus, I think you guys should be able to like screenshot and paste it on it, something like that. Me feel like that Jody I do that over there,
So what do you say we're doing?
There's a PowerPoint that I sent you that you should be completing. And the PowerPoint has, if you scroll through, the first one is the CPU, which I just discussed. So I summarize information for the CPU. Now this one is incomplete and you need to summarize it because this is what you need to know for this particular topic. It's inside of a chat here.
Yes, sir. I see it. I see it, sir.
I'm just gonna pin all the activities that we're doing today so that you kind of have them. You decide where you want to store them, so you can refer to them later on. All right, cool. So you can screenshot it, guys, if that works faster. I don't know. Screenshot, print screen, paste it on there. Or you can type it. All right, cool. Are we good to go? Good to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, nice, cool. All right, so I'm gonna go to the next one, which is ROM. So similarly, so make sure that we can point this out. So it's right here. So this is your ROM, and this stores your startup instruction. So without this, your computer what is happening to my internet?
So it's a sign.
It's a sign.
Class should end early, 1 hour early today. It's a sign.
I don't know how many people agree with you. That's not a good hope right there. I'm not that terrible. Okay, good. So here we go again. So ROM stands for read only memory and holds instruction to execute when the computer is first turned on. All right. And just to point out here, different portable game consoles also have their own ROM in there. So this is not just limited to your desktop. Your mobile phone that you have also have its own ROM, right? Any embedded system that you can think about have to have some form of ROM in there, okay? That holds instruction for how it is supposed to start up. So you know, just press the button and it works. There's a ROM there that when that button is pressed, the instruction is run and the computer comes on. All right, are we good with this? We good? All right, nice. Okay, cool. All right, so we have nicely recap primary storage. We have recap recapped data bit there. So the next thing we're going to be doing today, next one, is we want to now look specifically at secondary storage devices. This one is going to be very important because we need to be able to distinguish between them so that we can then decide which one we want to actually use. So let's kind of look at that now. All right. Again, this is also in the classroom. So if you are not seeing it there, you want to take a look. Just make sure that you can actually see it inside the system itself. Let me know if you guys find it. I'm also going to place it right here inside of the chat itself. That's there. All right. So let me know if you can see that. So secondary storage. I can confirm if you guys find it for me, please. Let me know, please. Can you find it? All right. Did we find it, guys? Let me know. Let me know if we find it. All right, great. So yeah, so let's kind of just take another 5 or so minutes to go through secondary storage here, and then to allow you to fill in the tables with the required information, all right, that we actually need to know. So just to remind us, when we talk about secondary storage, we're just talking about devices that allows us to store for long term, all right? Because you don't just want to be able to store programs or data while the computer is actually running. You want to be able to store also for long term. Now, I think in my previous lesson, I tried to distinguish between the media and the drive, okay? So if you look on the CD here, yeah, this is the media. The drive is the device that is used to read the data from it. Together, they become what is called the optical storage drive or the CD drive in this case. Very same thing with hard drive. Okay, so this over here, this part here is the plotter. That's the media. That's where the data is actually stored on, right? And then, of course, the read and write head here, that becomes a drive, and that's how we have hard disk drive. For solid state, if you notice, what it has is some semiconductor chips on here, semiconductor chips. So the data is actually being stored on the semiconductor chips on here. Yeah, the thing that is used to read from it is called the drive. So together, when we talk about storage, we're talking about both the drive and also the media. Very important that we understand the difference between that. Now, I just want to basically just talk about how data is actually stored on optical disk, right? So just like how when you drive go around Westwood, whole heap of pothole around it, yeah? So you have some smooth part and then you have some pothole part. Same thing with CD. The CD has what is called pits. The pits are like potholes. Think about them like that, all right? And the lands are the smooth path. All right. So what the laser does is to read the data. So whenever data is written, it creates a pit, and then the smooth part is left to show that nothing is written here yet. All right. So laser does that for you. Now, why is it that people actually use CD? Yeah, because CD cheap and it also lightweight and portable. But here's a big problem with it. It has slow access time. So if you're trying to watch a movie from a CD, it might take you a longer while. Even with DVD, that's why for persons who don't know about DVD, man, but for persons who still have DVD player, when you put in the DVD, that's why it takes so long to and it takes a good minute to spin up before it actually starts showing the movie. So that is what we're talking about, slow access time. All right. Here's a big problem with CDs, prone to scratch. All right. So if you put your SBA on this, right, it is likely that when the time comes to turn in your SBA, you will not have any SBA. All right. So that's that. Now, magnetic storage is the other one that we speak about. Yeah. So this is what, with the hard drive, this is what it's called the read and write head, and this part is called the platter. So the data is actually stored on the platter, but it is written to it by the read and write head, or it is read from it using the same device that is here. All right. So if you think about it like this. Yeah. So this is the disk and this is the drive head. All right, and it is just moving around and reading. So you see, if you have human hair on it, the drive are going to try read human hair. If you have dust on it, it is going to try to read it, and that is why sometimes it struggles to find the actual data that is on there. Okay, now why is it that people choose hard drive? One, it is cheaper than solid state drive. It has a very large capacity. But one thing we need to remember, it is fragile. Reason why it is fragile, if you look at it, look at the makeup, right? These things have to stay stable. If you move them up and down the read and write head, it is likely that it is going to get damaged, all right? And something we know is that it has slower access times than the solid state drive itself, all right? And that's because this thing have to move back and forth in order to read the data itself. Now we talk about solid state storage, yeah? We're talking about a combination of things. Flash drive comes under it, memory card comes under it, solid state drive comes under it. So all of these here are considered solid state drive. The difference with these is that they do not have any moving parts. If you open them, what you're going to find is some form of semiconductor chip like what we see here. And the data is actually being stored to these. All right, so that's how these are. So all of these are what we call solid state drive. Now, why is it that people actually choose these devices? One, they are durable. your flash drive is likely to last longer than your CD, last longer than most other hard drive devices that you actually have out there. In terms of the cost, they're not very expensive in terms of like flash drive, but they're certainly more expensive than CD. They're more expensive than a lot of other devices that are out there. But here's a beautiful thing about why we use these. They have fast access time. As you push in the flash drive, it read it. Same thing if you have solid state drive. As soon as you click on whatever you're trying to access, it will be much more faster. But here's something that is a problem, limited lifespan. So they're not created to withstand and last for years. So a flash drive will not last you all of your high school years. Yeah, it's going to stop working at some point. When the first set of flash drive came out, we had to format them. And from time to time, they would just stop working. All right. And that's quite possible. So what I want to do now for the next activity that you have on the page there, I've done this one for you, magnetic. I've completed this for you to put in what are the main information. Don't worry about the numbers, just worry about these bits here, yeah? So for the hard disk drive, the type of it is a magnetic type. The uses, I've already filled this one in already, right? It is internal storage inside of a PC, inside of a laptop. It is also used to hold the operating system and also program files. Characteristics, moving a drive head that has to move to each part of a data file. Hard disks perform better if they are defragmented, right? In terms of reliability and durability, this one will damage with impact. That means if you shake this up, if this is in your laptop and you're a person like Jade who used to jump Chinese skip when they're going to school with their laptop in their bags, they're going to damage their hard drive. And so they'll have to buy a new one soon. All right.
Sir,
in terms of, yes.
Sir, but you can use like coltan from
Actually, yeah, Colton look like somebody that carry it. I will probably jump and climb tree when I go to school. And go
exactly
pick
play a
mango
ball.
and apple. Play ball, exactly. And
Exactly.
more
So,
that, yeah.
so
Look,
everybody are turning against me now, sir. Like,
me feel like we use Jadi a lot for exams. So we
so
are pick
let
one,
it stay that way. Let it stay that way, sir.
In terms of capacity, it is very high. So most hard drive now are 8 terabyte, right? And in terms of cost, they are cheap. Data access speed, they are fast. So I'm gonna go to this one now. So flash memory, can I ask you to now fill in flash memory? You'll need to find a picture of it online and paste into this area. Oh, let me give you some answers. Let's go. Flash memory. Right. Here we go. So you need to find a picture and then we're going to fill this in. So the type is solid state. Uses storing image files on a digital camera. So that's what we use it for. In terms of characteristics, has no moving parts, no need for defragment, and of course, lower power devices, and of course, no noise. So this is what is good about this one, right? In terms of reliability and durability, limited number of read-write cycles. And then we have portability. This is compact and lightweight. So if you're going to do something that requires you to be outdoor and moving, then this is probably the one you want to go for. In terms of capacity, it can store from anywhere between 8 megabytes to 256 gigabytes. In terms of cost, it is expensive when compared to others. And in terms of data access speed, it is fast. Let me know when you have captured that so we can quickly move to the next one because we want to do some Excel. We don't want to do all theory today. I want to move to doing some Excel quickly. You all right, Deandra?
Yes, sir.
Sure. You find the PowerPoint that we're working on?
Sir?
You find the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
And you know which slide we work on now? All right, cool, nice. So don't worry too much about the numbers here. This is what we want. We want to have kind of like a little summary of each of these kind of storage device. So later on, when we want to find out which one is best for which situation, we can choose. All right. Let me know when we're good so we can move to the next ones, please. Are we
Sir.
good? We can move?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, cool. So now let's move to the other two, which is CDR and solid state drive. CDR is optical, so that's a type. Use to store music, to back up files. It uses a laser in order to read and write. And with CDR, you can only write to it once. And then after that, you can only read. All right. So if back in the days, you guys ever hear about people burning songs onto CDs before? Have you heard about that? Nobody heard that phrase before? Nobody? Jesus, not really updated.
Sir.
You heard it before? Yeah, man. When I used to go school and I wanted to hustle, what I used to do, I used to go on some of them websites, free backdoor websites and download the latest movie. Then I would go and buy DVD-R and burn it onto it and sell the people. Hold on, I want there used to be a big business in Jamaica where people used to just have one big old blue chapal with pure CDs on there and DVDs. They don't do that anymore because we have Netflix. But that's what you used to do. So you could only write to it once. So by that we mean once you store files on it one time, you can't erase it or you can't rewrite something else on it. So that's what CDR means. Okay, cool. Why people used to do it? It was very cheap. Think about the capacity, 640 megabyte. And again, the data access speed is very slow. And big problem, easily damaged. On the side, we have a solid state drive. Now, this is the one that is now replacing hard disk in your laptop and PCs. And a large reason for that is that this one is more durable in terms of if you have to move up and down with your laptop. And also, it has fast access speed. In the long run, the hard disk drive would have probably last you longer, just that it have a greater lifespan. In terms of capacity, 0.5 gigabyte to 4 terabytes. So notice a lot of storage there. Not as much as hard disk though. The hard disk can have up to 8 terabytes. And look at this major thing here in terms of cost. It is very expensive, but access speed is very fast. All right, can we move?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. And then these two now, we have the Blu-ray disc, which is another one that they want us to address in your on your curriculum. So the Blu-ray, again, this is also under the category optical. It is used to store films and to distribute console games. It uses a laser just like CD to read and write. And again, this one is to write once and read only after that. It is easily damaged, just like CD. It is thin and easy to distribute. In terms of size, it is much bigger than a CD in terms of the size. 25 gigabyte to 125 gigabyte. And again, cheap and also slow. And then we have the dot tape. So this was what we had before before we had hard drive. Anybody ever see a tape before? Even the one where you see in the radio. Like a cassette.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you hear the parents talk about them going to what you call it now, to the movie shop to rent movie. And they used to get it on some big tape. Never? Oh my God.
Sir, we're not that
Guys,
old, sir. We're not that old.
now I know you don't know. I'm saying you have never heard your parents speak about that. They didn't never used to go to rent movies.
Not
Come
at
on.
all, sir.
When you come off of this life, please go ask them. Because them used to go rent movie. Me sure of that. All right, so it used to be on some tape like this. Let me see. Yeah, cassette. Cassette is the one in the radio. But this is the one that used to, before we had DVD player, this was the one that we used to go rent at the shop and slide it in and watch movie on there. Movie them never used to hot still in terms of quality. But them time there, it used to nice. All right, anyways, uses long-term archiving of data can only be read and written sequentially from beginning to end. So if you had two movies on a tape, yeah, and you reach part two, you couldn't rewind. That was why they came in with DVDs. There was no way to rewind. You either have to start all over or you continue. All right, good. It is usually reliable, portability. It was portable, although not usually required to be, since tapes can be stored off-site and in a single place. And then we also, in terms of capacity, 600 gigabyte, and the cost was cheap, but the data access speed was slow. All right, is that good? All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right, so we're going to take a break from theory, and we want to do a little bit of Excel this evening. All right, so may I now ask you to go to the spreadsheet file there, and you're going to download the file. Don't worry, I'll still give it the 5 minutes, but I'm gonna give it the 5 minutes once I'm done. So I'm gonna ask you to download the Excel file. I think I call it lesson 2. Can you check to see if you can see that? I think I call it lesson 2.
Sir, is it a slide or a spreadsheet?
So the slide is just notes for you.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can look at the notes in your own time. I just want the spreadsheet for the purpose of teaching. Oh yeah, yeah. So download the spreadsheet. So it says lesson 2 spreadsheet formula, right? So how does it look like? Is it a PowerPoint that you're seeing?
Yes, sir.
Ah. Oh, gotcha. All right, just give me 1 second there. Formulas. All right, so I'm gonna try and put it inside the chat here, so that you can access it from there. All right, there you go. Just let me know if you see that. So it's called formulas, and I've just tossed that into the chat itself. All right, is it there? You guys have it?
Yes, sir.
All right, nice. All right, so I'm gonna just switch to talking a bit about spreadsheet for the rest of this activity eve or afternoon, so to speak. All right, so I just want to give a bit of talk into what spreadsheets actually are. And so when we talk about spreadsheet, is a digital document that allows users to enter, store, and to manipulate data. As you would see with the file that you actually have, usually you can enter numbers, text, formulas in cells arranged in rows and columns. Last week we looked at rows and columns, and we did look at cell references. Now, some of the key features you're going to look out for when it comes to spreadsheet is that each box in a grid is called a cell. The one that you're actively clicking on is called an active cell. Then we have rows, and rows again run from top to bottom across. Then we have, and they're numbered 1, 2, 3, versus columns that are labeled across A, B, C, D, E, and so on. With spreadsheet, one of the good thing about it is that you can use formulas, you can use functions, you're able to create charts and graph, you're able to sort and filter, all of which we intend to do for you to be able to do the first part of your SBA. So today we're going to be looking at formulas. But next week we'll talk about functions. Following week we'll do a bit of charts and graphs, and then we'll do some sorting and filtering, and you'll be ready to do the first part of your SBA, whether that you're doing that in school or with us. Now, what is the purpose of spreadsheet? I just want to make a couple of points what we consider to be the purpose. So first and foremost, it is to store and to arrange information neatly in rows and columns, making it easy to find, update, and also manage the data. It is to perform automatic mathematical operations using formulas and functions, which we are going to do today. It is also to analyze data trends, compare results, and make decisions, which helps in identifying patterns using tools like charts, graphs, pivot tables. All right. It is also to present data visually through graphs and charts, making information easier to understand. And that's what your SBA is going to be about anyways. And it's also to maintain accurate records such as sales expenses, attendance, or marks. Now, for the purpose of knowing who actually uses a spreadsheet, a business can use it. So business can use this for budgeting, for payroll, for sales tracking. In schools, teachers can use it to maintain students' grade and to track students' attendance. In the field of science, people can use it to record and analyze experiment results. So anywhere data is actually being stored, spreadsheet can actually be used to handle that. For us personally, it can be used for household budgeting or even saving our plan. So if I could put this together, I'd just say that the spreadsheet's purpose is to make working with data easier, faster, and also more accurate, helping users to organize, to calculate, to analyze, and to visualize information effectively. All right, so the first task that I want us to do is to complete the task on there, but we're not going to be using any formula, because what we want to be able to do is we want to see, is it much faster when we actually start using formulas. So let's see if we can complete the first activity on here. 2 times 1 is
2.
all right. Good. 2 times 2.
4.
4.
2 times 3.
6.
6. But here's the problem now. All right, hold on. I should be on this one. Sorry. Let's do this one. So let's go on over here. So what we need to do, yeah, is to do the same thing. Let's go back here. Sorry. 2 times 4. So that's 6. This would be 8. Now I want to teach you a simple skill here. All right. It is called auto copying. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to move the cursor to the edge here where it becomes like this. Notice the look. Look at that little black
Like a cross here, sir.
Yeah, nice. And then you're going to hold down and drag this all the way down. And you'll notice that it will automatically copy down the tools for you. We're going to do the same thing here. So notice here, hold down on the left click of your mouse and then drag it all the way down. And this will also filter in the stars for you. We can't do it here because if I was to do it, it is going to copy down 4s. So you have to manually type these in. So we actually use this feature when you need to copy down the same bit of data in the next cells. All right. So it's going to become a useful feature whenever you need to do something of this sort. Okay. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Did it work for you? Let me know if you guys got it working. Did it work in terms of the autofill, auto copy down? Did it work?
Yes, sir.
Guys, we need enough to learn the skill, you know. Adam, make sure you save it and enable editing. So you go file, do save as and all that, and it should allow you an option at the top to enable editing, and then you should be able to edit. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go back up here now, and I'm gonna delete all of this because I have to be doing the numbers manually here. The problem with doing things manually is that I am likely to make an error. Maybe I'm just not good at math. Maybe I'll type 3 here. I don't know. Maybe I'll type 5 there. It's going to tell me, oops, it's wrong. So what I need to do is to come up with a way that is going to make it do it much faster for me, and that is to use a formula. Now, a formula in spreadsheet is just an expression that you are, mathematical expression that you are creating as the user, right? Using cell references and operators. By operators, we're talking about plus, minus, divide, all of that. In this case, we need to multiply. Now, something we need to remember about formulas is that all formulas begin with an equal sign. So in mathematics class, you would have simply done something like this. You would have write 6. You would type, something like 6 plus 7. I can't type for whatever reason. You should be you'll be able to just type what you want. 6 plus 7 equal. Equal comes at the end. But in this thing, we are going to start with an equal sign. So there we go with the equal sign. the next thing we need to do, instead of saying 2 times 1, this could work, but we do not want to. So if we did 2 times 1, this would give us the answer of 2. But when it comes onto Excel, actually, we want to be able to actually use the cell reference. So the way to do this is to look for the cell. What is the cell reference of this 2? What is the cell reference for this 2?
Sir, it is C5.
C5. All right, so we can either type C5 or just click on the 2 and it will automatically put in the C5 for us. All right, and then we're going to be multiplying. What is the cell reference for this one?
E5.
E5. We can type E5 or just click on it like that and it will give us the answer. Okay, there you go. So can I ask you to do 2 more and stop? Only 2 more? Only 2 more, please.
Sir.
Yeah.
I can't be excused from today's activity concern that I did all of them yesterday.
Oh, you did all of these yesterday?
Yes, sir.
The formula stuff when we never actually put up. No, me not put these up. Me see the work where you
Yes,
do.
sir. You did. Sir, you
I
did.
saw it, sir. You did.
You did.
You did.
Send me the answer.
Okay.
Send me the answer, man. Me check.
Sir, I did submit them. They're turned in, all of them.
Me see the other ones. Me just not see this one. All right. So while you are sending me, yeah, send me and we can work that out. All right. In the meantime, all right. So what should I put here? Talk to me, DeAndre. What should we do here for this one to get the next one?
Sir, you times C6 times E6.
What do we start with?
The equal sign first.
And then we do
C6 times E6.
Very good. All right, nice. That means we all get it. So here's what you do now, yeah? This is where my autofill becomes the super magician right here. Hold down on it, at the edge of it, and pull it all the way down, and that will fill in all of the answers for you. If you were to go and check them manually, you would realize that it already did all of the formulas for you. Right? Everybody got the gist? So now that we have the gist, you guys are going to jump over onto activity 1 here. Click on activity 1 where it says times table. And I want you to complete these. I'm giving you only 3 minutes to do it because you're going to use formula and you're going to use auto. All right, you're going to use the autofill to get it. All right, cool. So let's see if we can get this done. Who me not call for a long time? Adam. Where's Adam? Adam not speaking, Adam only texting. All right.
There's a link, sir.
I'm going to check it shortly. Katrina, what about you? Where's Katrina?
Yes, sir.
All right, Katrina, tell me what I need to type for this one. I need to work out 2 times 1.
Equal F6.
F. Serious? This we want to do, you know?
Oh.
So we want to multiply 2 times 1. So what is the location of 2?
C6.
C6 multiplied by.
E6.
Nice. Once we press enter, we do the little autofill something, and we come all the way down, just like that. All right, good. So can I ask persons to go ahead now and finish this one for me? See, let's see what I go on. And then I want you to do the formula. If you don't get correct, it means you're trying to cheat us and you're not using the formula. All right. So let me go and check Jaday's work while the rest of us finish up our formula. And then I want you to move over to activity 2, where we do the cake recipe. One.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
anytime I try to open the second one, it just gives me the first one instead that I already did.
What do you mean?
As in, when I go in the classroom and I click on the activity and I go to activity 1 times table, when I press open with Google Sheets, it just gives me starter, fill in the blanks.
Just download the one from our chat
Okay, sir.
and then upload it to Google Slide. And that should work. Jade, look like you need to give me access. I've been requesting access. Regina, how is it coming on? Haven't heard from you for a while, you know, man.
Come on, good sir.
Right, cool. Great. Right. That is what I want to hear. Let's go and look. Oh, let's see. Nice. Okay, Jade, I got your work. You can. You can, Jade. See you next week.
Okay, sir. Not necessarily leaving, but okay.
Oh, all right, cool. You stay then, man. I'm going to do some program. Did you finish up
Sir,
my
it's still not.
programs?
Sir, no matter what I do, it just gives me the first one, sir. I can't. It's not letting me open the other one.
What is it? All right. Tell you what you do. You're going to tell me your email, and I'm going to
Yes.
try and find you, and I'm going to try and send you.
Yes, sir.
Directly. All right, nice. Tell me the email.
I sent it to you, sir. Look in the chat.
Down now. All right, I've sent it, so you want to double check for that. All right, nice. How's it going, Katrina? How we going? Deandra, how we?
Good, sir.
All right, cool, nice. Kenisha?
All right, sir.
Nice. All right, cool, nice, wonderful. All right, so yeah, let's see if we can pull together now and get some of your brilliance. All right, so the same thing here. So you did it, did the formula correct if it actually gives you a green mark. If not, you did not get it correct. So please make sure you complete that and turn that into me. Just gonna go through
I just submitted.
and you just did. All right, nice. Cool. So let's just quickly run through this bit. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, cool. Rajin, what do I type here? Need to work the first one out. What do I do?
Sir, equal
Mm-hmm.
C22
Mm-hmm.
multiply
Mm-hmm.
E22.
Fabulous. And then we just copy this down and we're good to go. Nice. All right. Cool. There you go. All right. Deandra, choose a number. Choose a 7. All right, so let's do it 7. Just gonna copy this down. And that's asterisk. And then All right. Nice. All right, cool. Adam, how's it going?
Sir, it says access denied when I tried to get access.
Sir, I have it now. I'm going to do it now.
Or is that Adam saying, okay, Adam, did you try downloading it from the chat?
Yes, sir.
All right, you want to send an email and I do the same thing that I do for
Yes, sir.
cool. Yeah. All right, send me an email. All right, good. Yeah, Jade, help us since you're here. What should I type here?
Okay, so you're going to put equal.
Mm-hmm.
That's that M6
Mm-hmm.
multiplied by 06.
Nice. There you go. Fabulous. All right, pretty easy activity. All right, once you guys have done that one, just move over to this one. All right. So this one, we are basically trying to put together some ingredients to make different things like my blueberry muffin and my cupcake. All right. What shall I do here, Katrina? This says 2 times. What does that mean?
Huh?
What does it mean by 2 times right here? What should I do?
Multiply by 2.
So tell me the formula.
Equals
Mm-hmm.
C3
Nice.
times 2.
Very good. There you go. And
Sir,
once, yep.
you can use a cell to multiply it as well, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to
Mhm.
teach that today or a different day?
All right. If you want me to do it, we can do it right. Just say no. I'll do it for the next one. So 3, and then tell me my equal. I'm a 2, and my do times. I'm gonna click 3, but me have to make this absolute. How you do it on my laptop again? Hey, look here now. All right. So what Jade is saying, guys, we have what is called relative cell referencing, which is what we've been doing now. And with relative cell referencing, you just copy down to the next one. But because we don't want it to move from this position, we want it to remain fixed, then we make it an absolute cell reference. I'm going to put 3 here, and then I'm going to make it absolute. The way to do this is to use $2 around it like that. All right. Once we have done that, we copy it down and go down. You will notice that it should work. Yeah. So if you check this and look at each of the formula, all of them stay at I3. And the reason for that is this right here that we just did, where we made this absolute right here. So yeah, thank you. All right, so let's move on to this one. What shall we do here? We need one more volunteer.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
equal.
Nice.
What's that again? C3.
Mm-hmm.
This slash again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That should signify the division.
Nice.
Divided by 2.
I must do absolute again.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna do it, but because my computer stopped. Yeah, right. So yeah, so that's that right there. There you go. Good. So that should give us all of this correct on this side. For the challenge, got about 7 minutes for the challenge. Yeah, this is telling us that we have what 24 people. So we gotta read the information here. It says you have been put in charge of the shopping list for a party. it has been agreed that everybody will get £1, £1 paid to them. So if you look up here, we have 24 people. So how many pounds do we have? Hello?
Repeat, sir.
All right, so for the challenge, it says it has been agreed that each person get £1. Here we have 24 people. So how much pounds do we have?
24.
Good, so we have £24 to spend. Now, what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to break down this 24 in buying different things, all right? A simple way how I would do this is, yeah, I would use a function here. So I'm going to introduce something called a function. Next week is real time when we do function. But with function, we start with equal sign, just like with formula. But this time around, we use the keywords. In this case, I want to use sum, right? And I'm just going to add up these cells to make it easier for me. You guys can go ahead and use formula. I'm going to do this because it's easier. So all I need to do in terms of, oh no, I should do it over here. Because if I have 24 pounds on this side, I want to be able to tell when I am near to 24 pounds. And a simple thing to do is to then subtract this cell, subtract that cell from this cell. So if I set this up like what I have here, put 24 here, and then on this one, I'm going to do equal F13 minus F12. And then if I start by going here and I did something like go and buy some things. What have I done? So if I did, let's say I did 1, the cost of 1 would be 1 times 150. So that would be equal this times 150. All right, so if you notice now what it does is automatically tabulate down here, and I'll know how much money I have left to spend. All right, everybody understand that? Everyone understands that?
Yes, sir.
All right, so can I ask you to complete this up for me? And then the challenge. All right, so let's see how you go about doing that. I am going to send this to Adam. All right, nice. Okay, Adam, I've sent it over to you. Just check your email and see if you see it, please. So what I'm going to do in the interest of time, I'm going to skip this one and leave you guys to finish this up for your homework and to turn it in for me. So complete the whole document and then send this in to me. But I'm going to go over onto this one and then finish this one up as our wrap-up activity for this evening, because we know that we have been here for a while. So each person will need to give me an answer. I have 5, and I have 5 people online. So I need all 5 people to prepare to give me an answer. All right, so 14 times 7. Jade, what do I type?
This one, okay. Equal C3 multiplied by E3.
Fabulous. Good. So that's 1 down. Colton, your time. You're up.
Sir, equal sign
Mm-hmm.
C3
Con 3.
to C4, sorry, C4
Mm-hmm.
F C4
Mm-hmm. What's the operator?
plus.
Mm-hmm. The operand.
That's E4.
Fabulous. Good. Katrina, you're up next.
So equal
Mm-hmm.
C5
Mm-hmm.
minus
Mm-hmm.
341.
Nope.
Not 341, E5.
E5. Fabulous. Good. All right. Next we have Adam.
So I sent it in chat. C6 equals C6.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Asterisk. I forgot the name.
That's straight. Mm-hmm.
6.
Mm-hmm. Fabulous. Well done. There you go. And the last one. Where's Deandra? Is Deandra here? No, Deandra gone left we no man. All right. Regine.
Sir, my Wi-Fi not working properly, so I just came back into the.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. You hear? All right, Regine, can you finish up for me?
Equal
Mm-hmm.
C7 slash
Mm-hmm.
E7.
Nice. Well done, guys. Fabulous. So we are well on our way. Nice, nice, nice today. So I'm very confident that everyone seems quite comfortable with formulas today. So again, not tomorrow, next week we're going to touch on functions. Now that I know people are great with that, I'll do functions and I'll try and do some charts and also some sorting and filter. So over the next 2 weekends, we will be finished with spreadsheet to an extent that everyone will be able. Yeah, and just a show one class. Please, Jade would have cry.
Not exactly, though, sir. Not exactly.
No, if you guys are up for it, we could do one day this week. Well, you guys, when you go back to school? Monday?
Yes, sir.
Not sure, sir.
Look
Oh,
here,
guys.
I'm going to school on Monday. Don't play with me.
You might have go to school, but me not go. Me don't know if me I go to school yet.
Well, if you guys want to arrange, we could do one extra class this week because I really want to get you guys off to, and those of you who are doing like your SBA in school, if you want to kind of like send me what the actual SBA is, so I can have an idea. All SBAs kind of test the same thing because it's one mark scheme. But if you send me the SBA, yeah, send me the SBA. Have you been given the SBA already? Who's in year 11? Anybody here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So Katrina, you're okay. You're doing so. Have they given you the SBA already?
Yes, sir.
Nice. So
Okay.
I'm gonna send you my email and you send me the SBA so I can kind of like see what the skills are. But all the SBAs are genuinely the same skills anyways. But yeah, just want to make sure that we cover all of the bits that is going on. And again, guys, if there's anything with your SBA that is not clear right away and you need help to kind of decipher what to do, that's one of the reasons why I'm here. So feel free to always let me know, and I'll provide some support where that's concerned. But that's my email right there, so you can send me the SBA so I can have an idea of what it is. I know what we're going to be doing here, but yeah, we'll see. So I can make sure I build my lessons to respond to the needs that you actually have. You're going to give the SP. Oh yeah, so DeAndre, if you are doing it with Miss Millen, yeah, the guys who are registering at Brownstone, I am going to give the SBA topic and project. And so if that's what you're doing, then yes, you'll do it here with us. Right? Other persons who are doing it within their school, then I'll provide support in making sure that you get the best possible score for your SBA itself. Right, so again, if you are in year 11 and you're doing SBA somewhere else, feel free to drop me the SBA project. I'll make sure that my activities are relating to at least close as possible to make sure that you have the skills to actually do well on that. All right, nice. So that sounds good. So we'll finish this up next week. Again, if you guys want to have an extra class, I'm going to be home all week this week because me the holiday. So if you want, I can do you an extra day. All right,
Yes,
you guys,
sir. Rub it in our faces that you're on holiday. Rub it in our faces.
you guys were on holiday this week. I only got an holiday at Wednesday, half of the week. Yeah. And you guys going to be probably off longer because you guys going to have a storm.
Sir, we still have work to do.
Sir, the only day that
Yes,
I
sir.
have is Monday. I have classes every day during the week.
Oh, you have classes on Monday.
No, not on Monday, except Monday. So
Except
Tuesday,
Monday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have classes.
Oh yeah, we could do Monday. Like I said, I'm free, man. I'm good. I'm be chilling at home. So if you want me to, I can prepare for that, and we can cover some more stuff in that. All right. So you guys saying Monday evening, Monday.
I say yes.
All right. Colton, what you say? All right.
Reluctantly, sir. Reluctantly.
Reluctantly, yes. All right. So I'm going to put the yes in for you. So yes. All right. So let's plan for Monday, guys. Same. What time do we normally? What time you meet? 10.
There's support light gone, Monday.
Oh, we have
Then light
WhatsApp,
gone, no
man.
class.
Yeah, just communicate. Just communicate. It'll be fine for me. So if it's Monday, yeah, is it Monday in the evening or Monday in the day? Are you going to be in school,
Evening,
Jad?
sir.
In the
Evening.
evenings, sir, we have school.
If we have
What-
school, it will be in the
Some
evening.
of us have school.
What time is evening for you? Because I'm calculate 6 hours from me to you.
Probably around 5 o'clock. So, sir.
5 o'clock. I
5
don't get
o'clock
it.
is
Yes.
It's a big
5
problem.
o'clock is
7 o'clock.
11 o'clock for me. What do you say? 7?
Yes, sir. Basically 7, I'm getting home. What?
Yes, sir.
7 is 1 p.m., 1 a.m. for me. I'll make it happen though. If you guys gonna be there, I'll make it happen. Don't worry. I'm gonna be home. I'll be able to sleep all day the next day. So that's fine. So you say 7 o'clock in the evening. 7 and 6 is what? 13, which is 1 o'clock, right? All right, cool. We'll prepare for. Let's prepare for 1:30, which is your 7:30. Yeah. All right. Great. School keeping Monday. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week. We'll see you on Monday. Sorry. Please drop a message in the chat to remind me, guys. So please, if you don't see Monday, please send a message to remind me that we have class so I can prepare. That said, I will see you on Monday. Take good care on yourself. Until then. All right. Take care.